You didn't find this content by accident. Today you're going to discover if you are an old soul or young soul, and this revelation will completely transform how you see your life and your purpose in this world. There are people who since childhood have felt different, as if they carried an invisible baggage that no one else could see. They look at the world with a depth that frightens, feel nostalgia for places they've never visited, and have an intuitive understanding about life that goes far beyond their chronological age. If you are one of these people, know that you are not alone, and that there is a profound spiritual explanation for this. Edgar Cayce, one of the most respected psychics of the 20th century, revealed that all souls were created simultaneously, but differ drastically in their level of spiritual development. This difference manifests in what he called the age of the soul, young or old, and today you're going to discover exactly what yours is. Helena Blavatsky, the founder of Theosophy, complemented this understanding by explaining that some souls choose more challenging experiences to accelerate their spiritual growth. She said that recognizing your true nature is the first step to living in harmony with your divine purpose. Throughout this journey, you will learn 9 unmistakable signs that reveal whether you are an old soul or young soul. Each sign will illuminate aspects of your personality that perhaps you have never fully understood. You will understand why you feel different, why certain experiences affect you so much, and what your true calling is in this existence. Prepare yourself, because some of these revelations are going to move you deeply. They will explain that feeling of not completely belonging to this world, that constant search for something deeper and more meaningful. You will discover that your most striking characteristics are not flaws or eccentricities. They are signs of a soul that carries the wisdom of many lives. This knowledge is not just informative, it's transformative. When you recognize your true spiritual nature, everything changes. Your relationships, your choices, your way of seeing life's challenges, everything gains new meaning. You stop judging yourself and begin to honor yourself for what you really are. Young souls are not inferior to old ones. They are just at different stages of development. They bring energy, curiosity, and the desire to experience everything that life offers. Old souls, on the other hand, bring depth, compassion, and an intuitive understanding of the mysteries of existence. But there's something even more important you need to know. Regardless of whether you are a young soul or old soul, you are exactly where you need to be. Your soul's age determines not your value, but rather your unique way of contributing to the world. The first sign of an old soul is the profound sensation of not completely belonging to this world. You can be surrounded by people, but still feel like a foreigner observing a culture that is not totally yours. This sensation is not melancholy or depression, it's a spiritual memory. Edgar Cayce explained that old souls carry deep memories of other dimensions, other times, other ways of existing. That's why the material world often seems limited, superficial, as if you knew there was something much greater. Have you ever caught yourself looking at the sky and feeling an inexplicable nostalgia, or walking somewhere and being certain you'd been there before, even knowing you'd never stepped foot in that location? These are manifestations of soul memory, signs that you carry experiences that transcend this current life. Young souls, on the other hand, feel completely at home in the physical world. They are here to experiment, to adventure, to discover all the pleasures and challenges that earthly life offers. There's nothing wrong with this. It's exactly what they came to do. But if you are an old soul, this feeling of not completely belonging is actually a calling. It's your essence reminding you that you didn't come here just to live an ordinary life. You came for something greater, to serve as a bridge between the spiritual and material world. Many old souls wrongly interpret this sensation as a problem to be solved. They try to force themselves to adapt completely, to find humor in the same things others find funny, to get excited about purely material goals. But this only generates more frustration, because you're trying to deny your true nature. The key is to accept this sensation as a gift. You don't need to feel bad for not getting excited about gossip or for preferring deep conversations. You don't need to force yourself to value things that your soul knows are temporary. Your difference is your strength. When you embrace this characteristic, something magical happens. You begin to attract people who also feel this depth. You start to find your true place, not necessarily a physical place, but an energetic space where your soul can breathe freely. Comment which city you're watching from, because I want to know how far this wisdom is reaching and how many old souls are recognizing themselves at this moment. Your presence here is not a coincidence. It's part of a collective awakening that is happening. But there's something even more revealing about old souls that few can perceive, and that's what I'm going to share with you now. The second sign is the natural ability to see beyond appearances and recognize the truth behind the masks that people wear. You can sense when someone is lying, even if you can't explain how you know this. This ability is not paranormal, it's accumulated wisdom. Throughout many lives, you learn to read energies, to perceive the subtle signs that reveal people's true intentions. You developed a sharp intuition that functions like a natural authenticity detector. Helena Blavatsky taught that old souls carry an internal library of human experiences. You've already seen so many types of people, already gone through so many situations, that your soul recognizes patterns that your conscious mind hasn't completely processed yet. That's why you can meet someone and immediately feel whether you can trust that person or not. You can enter an environment and capture the emotional atmosphere of the place. You can hear a story and instinctively know if it's true or not. Young souls are still learning these lessons. They need to go through the experiences to develop this discernment. That's why sometimes they get involved in toxic relationships or situations that an old soul would instinctively avoid. But here's an important point. This ability to see the truth comes with a responsibility. You cannot use this gift to judge or manipulate. Cayce always warned that spiritual knowledge should be used to help, never to harm. Often you will see things you wish you couldn't see. You'll perceive when someone is suffering behind a forced smile. You'll sense when a situation is going to go wrong before it even happens. This can be heavy, but it's also an opportunity to be a light in people's lives. Your sensitivity to truth makes you a natural counselor. People feel comfortable opening up to you because they perceive that you won't judge them. You have a unique ability to see the essence of people beyond their mistakes and flaws. This is one of the most precious characteristics of an old soul, the ability to love people not despite their imperfections but including them. You understand that everyone is in a learning process, each at their own pace. And there's something even deeper about how old souls relate to time and experiences that will surprise you. The third sign is a peculiar relationship with solitude. You don't just tolerate it, you actively seek it. While most people flee from silence and quietude, you find in them a source of energy and clarity. This need for solitude is not antisocial, nor is it depression. It's a real spiritual necessity. Your soul needs these moments of quietude to process all the information and energies it captures during the day. It's as if you were an emotional sponge that needs to be squeezed regularly. Edgar Cayce explained that old souls are naturally more sensitive to the energies around them. They absorb not only their own emotions, but also the emotions of people nearby. That's why solitude functions as an energetic reset, a moment of return to your center. You may notice that after spending a lot of time in a group, even if it was pleasant time, you feel an almost physical need to be alone. It's not that you don't like people, it's that you need this time to reconnect with yourself. Young souls generally energize themselves with the company of others. They seek external stimuli, adventures, novelties. Solitude can be uncomfortable for them because they haven't yet developed a rich and complex inner life. But for you, solitude is where the best conversations happen. The conversations you have with yourself. It's where you reflect on the meaning of experiences, where you process your deepest feelings, where you find the answers you seek. Many old souls feel guilty about this need for solitude. They think they should be more sociable, more willing to participate in group activities. But this is denying your essential nature. Your need for alone time is as legitimate as other people's need for constant company. Solitude is where you connect with your internal wisdom. It's where you hear the whispers of your soul, where you access insights that you couldn't have in the midst of the noise and agitation of the external world. When you honor this need, something interesting happens. You become more present and available when you're with other people, because you're recharged, centered, connected with yourself. This characteristic also makes you someone very comfortable with your own silence. You don't need to fill every moment with words or activities. You know there's a richness in silence that few can access. But there's an even more fascinating aspect about how old souls perceive and interact with emotions that will leave you impressed. The fourth sign is an emotional depth that sometimes seems disproportionate to situations. You can become deeply moved by a movie, a song, a story, or even by the beauty of a sunset in a way that others can't understand. This emotional intensity is not fragility, it's spiritual sensitivity. Your old soul recognizes the depth behind simple experiences. You see connections and meanings that go unnoticed by most people. Helena Blavatsky said that old souls carry within them the emotional memory of many lives. When you get emotional about something apparently simple, you're actually accessing a library of emotional experiences that your soul accumulated throughout various existences. That's why you can cry hearing a song you've never heard before, or feel a profound emotion when visiting a historical place. Your soul is recognizing something familiar, something that echoes with past experiences. Young souls tend to have more direct and immediate emotional reactions. They get emotional about what's happening now in the present. There's nothing wrong with this. It's a simpler and more direct way of experiencing life. But your emotional depth is a gift, even when it sometimes seems like a burden. You have the ability to feel life in a multidimensional way. You don't just live experiences, you absorb them, process them, integrate them at very deep levels. This characteristic makes you extraordinarily empathetic. You can feel others' pain as if it were your own pain. You can genuinely rejoice in others' happiness. Your capacity for emotional understanding is a rare gift in this world. Often you may feel overwhelmed by this intensity. It may seem like you feel too much, care too much, are affected too much by things. But this is exactly what makes you a healing force in this world. Your emotional depth allows you to connect with people at a level that goes beyond superficial conversations. You offer a safe space where people can be vulnerable, where they can show their true emotions without fear of judgment. If you've made it this far, leave a comment sharing which sign resonates most with you so far. Your journey of self-knowledge is just beginning, and each step you take inspires other souls to also recognize themselves. Now, I'm going to reveal something about old souls that few perceive, but that can explain a lot about your life. The fifth sign is a strange familiarity with suffering. Not that you seek pain, but you have a unique ability to find meaning and growth even in the most difficult experiences. This relationship with suffering is completely different from masochism or victimization. It's a profound understanding that pain is a teacher, that the most difficult moments often carry the most important lessons for the soul's growth. Edgar Cayce frequently observed that old souls choose more challenging lives, not as punishment, but for spiritual efficiency. They know that the most significant growth happens when we're forced to go beyond our comfort zones, when we're tested in our ability to maintain faith and compassion even in the most adverse circumstances. You may have noticed that you went through experiences that seemed disproportionately difficult for your age or situation, or that even when things are going well, you have an intuitive understanding that life includes both joy and pain, and that both are necessary. Young souls often become revolted by suffering. They question why bad things happen, why life has to be so difficult. They're still learning that resistance to pain usually causes more suffering than the pain itself, but you, as an old soul, developed a different wisdom. You understand that resisting suffering is like trying to stop a wave with your hands, impossible and exhausting. Instead, you learned to surf the wave, to find ways to navigate difficulties with dignity and grace. This doesn't mean you don't feel pain or that you don't care about suffering. It means you have a broader perspective. You can see that often the most difficult experiences are also the ones that make us grow the most as human beings. This ability to transform suffering into wisdom makes you a natural healer. People seek you out when they're going through difficult times because they feel that you really understand, that you went through similar things and came out strengthened. You have a special ability to hold space for others' pain without trying to fix them or give empty advice. You know that sometimes the only thing someone needs is someone who can witness their suffering with compassion. But there's something even deeper about how old souls relate to purpose and meaning in life that will reveal a lot about who you really are. The sixth sign is a constant search for purpose and meaning that goes far beyond material or professional goals. You have a persistent sensation that you came here to do something important, even if you don't know exactly what it is. This search for purpose is not common ambition. It's not about wanting to be famous, rich, or powerful. It's a deep spiritual need to know that your life has meaning, that you're contributing to something greater than yourself. Helena Blavatsky taught that old souls carry within them a memory of the divine plan. They know, at a deep level, that life is not random, that each soul has a specific function in the grand scheme of existence. That's why you may feel restless when your life seems to just be following the flow without a clear purpose. You may have gone through moments of profound reflection about the meaning of life, moments where you question not only what you're doing, but why you're doing it. These are not negative existential crises. They're your soul reminding you that you have a special mission. Young souls often content themselves with more immediate goals, having a successful career, starting a family, accumulating achievements. There's nothing wrong with these goals, but for an old soul they seem incomplete if they're not connected to a greater purpose. Your search for meaning can lead you to become interested in spirituality, philosophy, psychology, or any area that explores the deeper questions of human existence. You may feel attracted to helping professions, social causes, activities that allow you to make a difference in people's lives. But it's important to understand that your purpose doesn't need to be grandiose or publicly recognized. Often, the purpose of an old soul is simply to be a loving and conscious presence in the world. Your way of being present, of treating people, of responding to life's challenges is already a meaningful service. You may discover that your greatest impact doesn't come from what you do, but from who you are. Your ability to remain centered in the midst of chaos, to offer compassion without judgment, to see the best in people even when they can't see it in themselves. This is purpose in action. Sometimes you may feel frustrated because your purpose isn't obvious, or because it seems like you're not doing enough. But remember, your conscious presence in the world is already creating waves of change that you may not even perceive. And there's a fascinating aspect about how old souls perceive time that will explain a lot about your life experience. The seventh sign is a unique perception of time. You may feel as if you're always in a hurry and always late, not with appointments, but with your own spiritual evolution. It's as if there were an internal urgency to wake up, to remember, to become who you really are. This temporal urgency is not common anxiety. It's your old soul knowing that you chose this specific life to conclude something important, to finalize cycles, to reach a level of understanding that has been building throughout various existences. Edgar Cayce frequently mentioned that many old souls feel they're racing against time, not in the sense of mortality, but in the sense of spiritual realization. They know they have work to do, but sometimes feel as if they're just beginning to remember what that work is. You may have experiences where it seems you're living in two different times simultaneously, the chronological time of the world and the time of the soul. You may feel nostalgia for the future, as if you were remembering something that hasn't happened yet, or homesickness for a home you've never seen. Young souls generally have a more linear relationship with time. They live the present, plan the future, learn from the past. For them, time is a natural and orderly progression. But you may notice that your relationship with time is more fluid. You may have moments where you feel you've lived certain situations before, where you have insights about the future, where the past and present mix in strange ways. This unique temporal perception can make you feel as if you're always in two realities: the everyday reality where you have to meet schedules and deadlines, and the spiritual reality where time is elastic and multidimensional. Often you may feel impatient with yourself, as if you should be more spiritually advanced, as if you should have more clarity about your purpose, as if you should be contributing more to the world. This impatience is your old soul recognizing that you have potential for much more. But it's important to understand that this spiritual urgency doesn't mean you're late or doing something wrong. It means your soul is awake and ready for the next level of growth. Share your experience. Have you ever felt this strange relationship with time? Have you ever had the sensation of remembering something that hasn't happened yet? Your comment can help other people understand that they're not alone in these experiences. And now I'm going to reveal one of the most profound and transformative signs of an old soul. The eighth sign is a natural compassion that extends even to those who have hurt you. You have a unique ability to see beyond people's behavior and understand the pain that's usually behind their destructive actions. This compassion is not naivety nor permissiveness. It's a profound wisdom that recognizes that hurt people hurt people. You understand that cruelty generally is born from unprocessed suffering, unrecognized fear, unhealed pain. Helena Blavatsky taught that one of the most distinctive marks of an old soul is the ability to forgive not only others, but yourself. You developed an understanding that we're all doing the best we can with the level of consciousness we have at the moment. You may have gone through situations where you were betrayed, abandoned, or hurt by close people, but still managed to find in your heart a space to understand their motivations. This doesn't mean you accept destructive behaviors, but that you can separate the person from their actions. Young souls often have a more polarized view of the world. People are good or bad, situations are right or wrong. They're still learning the nuances of human experience, the complexities that make good people sometimes do bad things. Your compassion manifests in subtle but powerful ways. You may be the person who still sees goodness in someone everyone else has given up on. You may be the one who offers a second chance when others would offer only judgment. You may be the one who holds space for someone to heal, even when that person isn't ready to accept help yet. This capacity for radical compassion is sometimes misunderstood. People may think you're weak or that you don't have boundaries. But the truth is, you have very clear boundaries. You just establish them with love instead of anger. You understand that establishing boundaries is an act of compassion for both you and the other person. You can say no firmly and still keep your heart open. You can protect yourself without closing off emotionally. Your compassion also extends to yourself in ways that are rare. You can look at your own mistakes and failures with gentleness, understanding that you too are in a process of growth, that you too deserve patience and forgiveness. But there's one last sign, the most powerful of all, that reveals not only that you are an old soul, but what your true calling is in this world. The ninth and final sign is the natural ability to inspire spiritual awakening in other people, simply by being who you are. Your authentic presence has the power to remind others of who they really are beyond their social personas. You may have noticed that people feel safe to open up to you in ways that surprise even yourself. Strangers tell their deepest stories. Friends reveal their most secret fears. And even casual acquaintances seem compelled to be more honest and vulnerable in your presence. This happens because your old soul carries a special frequency, the frequency of authenticity. When you're present in a genuine way without masks or pretensions, you create an energetic field that invites others to also drop their defenses and connect with their inner truth. Edgar Cayce always said that the greatest service an old soul can provide is simply being a living example of awakened consciousness. You don't need to preach, teach, or convert anyone. Your way of navigating life with presence, compassion, and authenticity is already a powerful teaching. You are a spiritual catalyst. Your presence accelerates other people's awakening process. You can enter a room and raise the vibration of the environment. You can have a simple conversation with someone, and that person leaves transformed, even if they can't explain exactly what happened. This ability comes with a beautiful responsibility. You are a guardian of consciousness in this world. In an era where many people are lost, confused, disconnected from themselves, you serve as a beacon, reminding everyone you meet that there is another way of being. Your journey as an old soul is not just about your own growth. It's about helping to elevate collective consciousness. Each person you touch with your authentic presence becomes a little more conscious, a little more connected to themselves, a little more capable of being a light in the world. You are part of an invisible network of old souls who are incarnated at this specific moment in history to help humanity take an evolutionary leap. You are the bridges between the old world and the new, between fear-based consciousness and love-based consciousness. If you recognized yourself in at least 6 of these 9 signs, know that you are an old soul. More than that, you are an old soul who is remembering who you are and why you're here. Your awakening is not accidental. It's part of a greater plan. Now that you know who you are, the question is, what are you going to do with this knowledge? How are you going to honor your old soul nature? How are you going to use your gifts to serve the world? Leave your comment sharing how many signs you recognized in yourself. Tell us how this revelation changed your perspective on your life. Your testimony can be exactly what another old soul needs to hear to remember who they are. Like this content if it touched your heart, because each like is a way for you to say, I remember I am an old soul and I'm here to serve. And keep following, because our journey together is just beginning. There's much more to discover about the old soul's path, about how to navigate this world while keeping your essence intact, about how to use your gifts to create the world that your soul knows is possible. You are not ordinary. You are not just another person. You are an old soul who chose to be here at this crucial moment in history. Your presence matters. Your journey matters. You matter. Welcome back, old soul. You remembered who you are.